This video is brought to you by District 26 Alaska Republicans, Michael Tavalera with Core Real Estate Group, and Brian Webb. Today, we're coming to you from District 26, which goes from Independence Park up to Hillside Drive between Abbott and Huffman. For the past 2 years, the Hillside District has been represented by Republican Chris Birch, a longtime South Anchorage politician.
I happen to be the only mining engineer in the legislature. So if you want to build a tunnel or you want to blow something up, I am the go-to guy.
Chris isn't running for District 26 anymore. He decided to run for the open Senate seat that is being vacated by Senator Kevin Meyer. So we sat down with Chris at one of our favorite spots in South Anchorage.
Yogurt Lounge is great, the toppings are awesome and tough to beat.
And while we were busy with the self-service at the Yogurt Lounge, Chris told us how he plans to continue to serve the voters of South Anchorage.
I opted to run for the Senate when the incumbent Kevin Meyer stepped down to run for lieutenant governor. So with an open seat, it certainly seemed reasonable that that would be a bigger and better opportunity to represent the voters in South Anchorage.
Chris hasn't endorsed any of the three candidates in the Republican primary, but he does have some advice for whoever wins the race.
Be able to get along with others. I think there's a lot of civility issues today, and I don't know what drives that necessarily, but I tend to personally tend to lean toward people that are civil with each other and have the ability and the sensitivity to interact with constituents, neighbors, friends, and frankly those they don't agree with.
Community and service are essential traits for all the candidates hoping to win the Hillside District, like Albert Vogel.
And service has always been in my family. We have people in my family that have been in the Army since the Civil War. So service is big, and that's why I've decided to run for the Assembly last year as well as the State House, because I feel it's very important to give back to your community.
This is Albert Vogel's second time running for office. Albert came to Alaska in 2005 when he was serving in the military. He sees some parallels between going door-to-door in Iraq and his campaign here.
When we went door-to-door in Iraq, we went to every family to see how they were doing, what their needs were. And I'm doing the same thing here in District 26. I want to know what their needs are, what we can do to make their lives better.
He feels there aren't as many opportunities now as when he first moved to Alaska.
And the past few years, I really haven't felt those opportunities are around anymore. And I want to make sure that not only our generation, but the next generation and the generation after that have the same opportunities that Alaskans have had for the past 30, 40 years.
Opportunity was something that we gave to candidate Joe Riggs, but he decided to cancel our interview last minute, twice. He then gave us a curt ultimatum, said we could follow him around, so we went to the Alaska Zoo, which is located in District 26, to look for him. But after all the fun, we had to get serious and commence our search for Joe. Joe? Joe, is that you? Joe! Joe! Excuse me, with the baby? Have you seen Joe?
Who's Joe?
Never mind. Yak! Yak! Oh. Oh, Joe? Hey. Hey, you? You hungry? Have you seen Joe? Joe? Wait. Where's Maggie? Where's Binky? We weren't able to find Joe, but we suspect he was really never there in the first place. But we were able to find Laddie Shaw at his South Anchorage home.
I tell people along the way, I said, I have been to Vietnam. I have ridden a bull. I've been in bar fights with Marines, and I'm putting running for office right up there with those things.
Laddie is one of the highest energy candidates I've ever met. Which says a lot, considering he's almost 70.
People ask me, how do you describe yourself as an energetic conservative? And I said, well, I'm a conservative because that's the way I believe. I believe that we don't need government in our backyard. I believe that we should take care of each other. I believe in a hand up, not a hand out. I said, but the energy part of it, let's go up flat top.
Laddie regularly hikes flat top and maintains the American flag at the top. Laddie was a Navy SEAL, fought in Vietnam, and taught the Alaska troopers how to perform SWAT missions, which he says has helped him talk about one of the most important issues at the door.
100% crime. Every single house I go to, it's about crime. People talk a little bit about the budget, they talk a little bit about the social issues, but very minimally. they really want to know what we can do about crime. And that's the primary focus, I think, that I'm going to put on my campaign.
Even in a district as big and expansive as 26, door knocking and those face-to-face interactions are the most crucial tools for campaigning.
The key, I believe, is knocking on doors and getting to know people and having them get to know you. You know, that's why people say, "Oh, I'm so frustrated, I can't raise enough money." Well, you can knock on doors.
Kevin Meyer has represented South Anchorage on the Assembly and in the legislature since 1993. And he's got his own advice to give to whoever wins the primary.
If they don't listen to people, don't represent the people, don't go to the meetings, then they're going to replace you with somebody else. So.
With Kevin Meyer running for Lieutenant Governor and Chris Birch running for the Senate seat, the very Republican District 26 is sure to see a hole-in-one from whoever wins the primary. A big thank you to all the participants from District 26, and a special landmine shout out to Yogurt Lounge and the Alaska Zoo. This video is brought to you by District 26 Alaska Republicans, helping Republicans get elected in South Anchorage. Michael Tavalera with Core Real Estate Group, your local Eagle River real estate specialists. And Brian Webb, he's a guy.